It's your fault for not choosing better. I want to respond to Mother of Kitty's comment. And this is a comment that, again, you frequently hear across social media and in real life. She says single moms are blamed for not picking better men, but that's like telling someone whose cheese molded in the fridge after a while you should have picked better cheese. And I'm here to tell you that, yes, I agree with your statement, but I honestly see this statement used very broadly for a lot of women. Women should have picked better. And I think I've had a post like this similar, maybe a couple of rows down. But I wanted to talk about this a little bit more because I noticed even on the post that this came from, there's still a lot of like blaming women for men being predatory. And one of the things that I wanted to say about it is this. Predators study their victims, and all of their victims. So a lot of times when women are dating men that are predatory, they're not even dating their true representative. They're dating either one, their own personality, because predatory men tend to mirror personalities and reflect back to you your own version of yourself, right? Or number two, you're dating a previous woman or several previous women that he's meshed together to make a personality. And that is done intentionally and purposefully to trick women, right? And to thinking that I'm a good person, I have all of these character traits, when really he's sort of stolen, picked, and, sort of taken on personality traits, mimicked personality traits of other women he's dated previously, and it's mimicked because it's not actually his true personality. See, normally what happens with predators, once they get you where they want you, that mask falls off. But who's to say where that get you can be, because predators can play the short game, they can play the mid game, they can play the long game. It depends on how bad they want it. So, that mask may not fall until, the first 3 months after dating, or the first 6 months after dating. The mask may not fall until after you're engaged, or after you've had your child, or after you've moved in together. The mask may not fall until after you've had sex, and you thought you guys were on the same page, but really it was just a pump and dump, where they got your panties and then they turned into a complete asshole. It was a whole bait and switch the entire time. And the screwed up part about this is most people know that men do this. And I'm not, again, I go back and I say, yes, women, we all need to learn discernment. Women need to learn discernment. Women need to learn boundaries. We all do. And we all have made mistakes in our relationships where we weren't as skilled, or we maybe believed a lie that we shouldn't have. But it still does not negate the fact that we do not hold predators accountable. It shouldn't be boys will be boys, well, or you should have been smarter, or you should have picked better. It's like, no, a man should go, your brother, your dad, your uncle, your friend, they should be able to pull up and go check that guy and be like, you know what, that ain't cool. There's no sense of community and calling a spade and saying, hey, no, that's not right. You can't do women like that in my family. You can't do my sister like that. You can't do my mother like that. You can't do any woman in this community. You cannot go on a public platform and diss all black women, all Hispanic women, all single mothers. No, that's not going to fly. That comes from people holding men accountable, other men holding men accountable, people checking predators at the door. When I worked at the prison, that's all I worked with was predators. And anybody that worked with me as their clinician, they could tell you they did not have an easy ride with me. And anytime they got out of pocket, I was always there to check their behavior. What are you doing being disrespectful? You know better. Are you supposed to be stealing that? Are you supposed to have your penis out like that? you need to put it up. You're going to get written up for that. I'm going to send you to the sergeant's office. That is a discipline. That is I'm going to contact your custody counselor. This may warrant you going to ADSEG if you do things like, so there's checks and balances in like every step along the way. Anybody that's ever worked with me as a clinician in a correctional or forensic setting will tell you that I have checked them every single step of the way, and they know when their behavior is inappropriate. They know that I am not going to be happy when I find out that they've done something that they weren't supposed to do, and we've addressed that already in their treatment plan, and they know how, the disciplinary rules and things like that. I'm saying that the community needs to do the same thing. People need to not feel so emboldened and empowered and like I'm a G, to be predatory to women. They just don't need to do it. And we need to bring back community. We need to bring back systems of checks and balances. I think that's more important now than ever in our country, in other countries, and across the board. We're seeing this play out in real time. What happens when we do not check predators? And a lot of us are going to suffer for it and already have suffered for it. Our children, our daughters, our sons. This is like an intergenerational thing, because once this thing gets going, it is hammered into us. A lot of you have responded to the previous post with cultural sayings, things that have been hammered into you in terms of, being expected to excuse predatory behaviors. Oh, that's just how men are. If a woman is stupid enough to go back, then what am I supposed to do? So these are things that are just passed down. And again, those are things that, again, excuse the predatory behavior. And it's like, we need to grow a backbone and stop allowing people to be predatory. And again, it's not excusing anything else. Sure, people need to learn boundaries, but people need to stop being predatory against women.